my childhood, several questions used to bother me, and these questions largely remain unanswered. Like the question of why do we have to pray? Why do we have to face east while praying? The question of why do I need to go clockwise in a temple during my prayers? Why should my home be filled with the images and the pictures of gods and deities? I'm going to cover these topics in the next couple of videos. And of course, once I got deeper into the Gita and the Upanishads, these questions got answered and I'm crystal clear about it. I would encourage you to watch the next couple of videos to find out more about this. Now, in this video, let's talk a little bit about the Puja Room. Now, the Sanskrit term puj, or the puja, comes from the word puj or the root puj, meaning honor. Hindu practices call for a dedicated space in the house to worship. Now, you could say, with divinity everywhere around us, what is the need for a separate dedicated space for worship? In fact, it's quite rational. Like the same way you have a dedicated office room or a dedicated study room, giving you the element of focus, same way a dedicated room for worship or to offer your prayers or to contemplate on the divine makes perfect rational sense. And that is what we mean by Puja Room, where you're sitting in that room or a space and contemplating on the divine and having that focus and honoring or offering gratitude through that focus. Now, a personal form of the divine usually adorns the puja room. Now, once in the room or in the vicinity of it, vibrations that come out really kindle godliness in you and others in the family. Hence, it's important that the puja room becomes the focal or the assembly during your daily prayers, where hopefully others can at least join you, other family members can join you, or even during those periods where you have some festivities being celebrated in the house, then the center or the focal point becomes the puja room. Now, another big question, the question that tormented me since childhood, where should the puja room be located? Should it really be facing east? Now, the common Hindu practice usually says the puja room has to be located in the northeast or the east. And the simple reason, which is covered in the Upanishads as well, is the visible form of divinity. The one that's obvious to us in the visible form is the sun, and the sun rises in the east. Hence, having a puja room in the east denotes that symbolic representation of divinity or the supreme or the God being in the east. Same way, facing east while offering any type of prayer, even if you're within the four walls of the house, again, is a symbolic representation that you are offering your oblations to the visible form of the divine or the sun. Likewise, the northern direction is also considered to be the direction of brightness or direction of light. And Krishna actually in chapter 8 talks about the soul going, a spiritual soul, which means a soul engaged in a spiritual practice, going in the northern direction or on the path of light when this body is declared dead. So this concept of east, northeast, north is actually going beyond just this bodily instance, goes also in the path that the soul takes over. Now, this belief of east and northeast and the fact that the east is where the sun rises, the visible form, has extended to the puja room as well, which is why usually when you bow to a deity or when somebody is bowing to you, they would say, hey, where is east? And that would be the first question that they would ask. Now, if your home has space in the east or northeast, then go for it. put up the puja room over there, make it the focal point of assembly for the house, keep the deity in the east direction. You can do that, keeping the deity in the east direction, and you're facing the deity there. The more important point than the direction is to make sure that the environment is clear, is clean, and you are having a sense of focus and commitment while you're offering your daily prayers. Now, the Upanishadic, all-pervading divinity and the Gita's Krishna and the divinity described in Krishna really don't have a direction. I mean, this entire cosmic universe is part of divinity. So who are we as mere mortals to say it's only in the East that you have God, or only in the East that you have divinity? It is a matter of convenience in that regard. If you have space in the East, if you have the comfort feeling in the East, go for it. Why not follow that tradition? But if for some reason that's not doable, nothing's going to prevent you from keeping the puja room in any direction you want, keeping the puja room or the deity in any direction you want. The main focus is commitment, contemplation, reflection, and worship of that deity. That is what the more important point is. It's not so much about the direction.